Across his Hall of Fame career, Jackie Smith caught 480 passes, but he is forever doomed to be remembered for the one he dropped. It can seem rather unjust how much one mistake can ruin someone's legacy. In the 1994 World Cup, Roberto Baggio was the breakout star of the whole tournament, helping to carry the Italians to the finals. But after the game went to penalties when the team needed him most, he sailed his lone opportunity over the crossbar. The miss would haunt Baggio for years, who is remembered today as one of the best players to never win the World Cup. In association football, the striker is often the most revered position on the field. The same can't be said for their American counterparts. In the NFL, the kicker is one of the most thankless roles that anyone can fill.
We're talking about our idiot kicker.
Do your job well and no one bats an eye, but screw up just once and you will be ridiculed until the cows come home. In recent history, two of the cruelest misses that come to mind are Blair Walsh's chip shot shank and Cody Parkey's double doink. However, the distinction for the costliest miss in NFL history has to go to one of two incidents from the 90s. Across more than a half century, 4 Super Bowls have been decided by a last-second field goal. 3 were made, and 1 was missed. The dishonor belonged to Buffalo Bills kicker Scott Norwood, who missed wide right on a 47-yarder that would have won the Bills the title. It's a moment that has tragically become the most replayed missed field goal of all time. However, in defense of Norwood, the standard for kickers back then was much less efficient than what we see today. 47 yards was about at the limit of his range, so the attempt was certainly no gimme, especially considering the circumstances. For my money, the NFL's actual worst miss occurred 8 years later, in the 1998 NFC Championship game. Minnesota Vikings kicker Gary Anderson had not missed a kick all season, leading by a touchdown with 2 minutes left. All Anderson had to do was make one more to put the game out of reach. However, when staring down the most crucial kick of his life, Anderson could not deliver. And all of a sudden, his perfect season had turned into the perfect storm. It was just a matter of time before the Vikings' lead was gone, along with their championship hopes. It can often be difficult for sports fans to reconcile the complex list of reasons for why their team lost. It's usually far easier to pin the whole mess on one player and one moment, no matter how unreasonable it may be. This type of coping mechanism is otherwise known as scapegoating, and in the history of sports, there was perhaps no bigger scapegoat than Bill Buckner.
The nightmares are that you're going to let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs.
Late in Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, Boston Red Sox manager John McNamara made the fateful decision to leave Buckner in the game at first base. By this point, the 18-year veteran was well past his prime, and would usually be subbed out for a more sure-handed defender in crucial situations. However, as the elder statesman of the team, Buckner was given the honors to close out what was anticipated to be a very special moment. Leading the New York Mets 5-3 in the bottom of the 10th, the Red Sox were just 3 outs away from winning their first championship in nearly 70 years. After retiring the first 2 batters, relief pitcher Calvin Schiraldi got into a jam, and the Mets would tie the game off a wild pitch with the bases loaded. The next batter, Mookie Wilson, appeared to end the inning by hitting a ground ball directly at Bill Buckner. It's the most routine defensive play in all of baseball, one so elementary that most children have no problem making it. Bill Buckner had probably done so 1,000 times by that point in his career. But on this day, his glove is a bit loose, his ankles are a tad weak, and he's not quite the player he used to be.
Behind the man! It gets through Buckner! Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it!
The Red Sox would go on to lose Game 7, and the fury of a tortured fan base would be placed squarely on Bill Buckner's shoulders. The error had made him a national laughingstock, and an absolute outcast in the city of Boston. Buckner had to endure so much hatred that he eventually had to move his family out to Idaho,